Hello, my people. It is my birthday and I'm gonna show you how to make this gorgeous chocolate cake. Here's the thing about birthday cakes. I love chocolate cake. Every year I only want chocolate cake. However, I've never made my own chocolate cake recipe. So today I'm making my ultimate dream birthday cake. Let's make cake. So to make the cake, I am going to start off with my dry ingredients. I'm gonna combine some flour. We got the white sugar going in. Brown sugar is gonna keep everything moist. If you hate the word moist, don't be dabbling in the cake game. It's essential here. So I'm using a Dutch processed cocoa powder. To allow the cake to lift and rise, I'm going to be using a combo of baking powder and baking soda. And to the dry mix, I'm gonna add a smidge of salt. It's not gonna make it taste salty. It's just gonna make all the flavors in there taste more like themselves. This just gets a little whisk together. Essentially, this is like your own homemade box cake mix. Wet ingredients are really simple, and I like to crack my eggs in first because if any shells sneak in, you can fish them out. And then I'm going to add in the buttermilk. And then while I whisk the eggs, I'm gonna stream in the oil so it becomes homogeneous. Now, I'm going to add the wet ingredients to the dry, but to make that nice and easy, I'm going to make a little well in the center. And then I'm going to pour that right in the middle. I'm gonna start from the inside, working my way out, slowly bringing together those dry ingredients until I have a nice, smooth batter. But don't overmix. Overmix is not gonna do nothing good for your cake. It's just gonna make it really tough. Now that you have a luxurious but still normal cake batter, it is time to make this birthday. First thing I'm gonna do is add a little bit of espresso. So I'm gonna have some hot water. If you don't have espresso, coffee could work, but I really like this for baking. You can sprinkle it in or dilute it. It's so fine. And I'm also gonna add chocolate. It's got some good chocolate bars. This is where you can ball out a little bit on getting some good chocolate. And I'm just gonna chop it by hand until I get these nice little shards. It's important to not go too thick here, otherwise the chocolate will not melt. I'm gonna put the chocolate shards right on top of my cake mix, pour it right on top of the chocolate so it can semi-melt. I'm gonna let this sit for a few seconds. Be careful, it splashes around a lot, so you kind of gently want to fold it into the cake batter. Otherwise, you will be wearing this, and it is really hard not to eat all the batter at this point, but if you wait, it'll be worth it. So I'm gonna divide this cake into 3 8-inch baking tins. I've just sprayed them very well with some nonstick spray and lined the bottom with parchment so they can pop out once they're done. And then I'm gonna divide the cake in 3. So these are going to bake in the oven until they are tall and fluffy and done in the center. While the cakes are in the oven doing their magic, I'm going to make some frosting. So to start off, I'm going to cut up some white chocolate. Just want to give it a rough chop. It doesn't have to be as fine as a chocolate for the cake because I'm going to melt this down. I'm just gonna put it in a microwave safe bowl and you're just gonna heat it up, you know, little intervals, doing a little mixy mix in between because white chocolate burns real easy. The white chocolate is looking mighty fine and smooth. To a large mixing bowl, I prefer a taller one to contain the mess. I'm going to add in some unsalted butter that is room temperature, some cream cheese. So once the butter and cream cheese have, you know, gotten going a little bit, I'm gonna add in the white chocolate as well as some vanilla. Wherever possible, don't use cheap vanilla because it tastes like Play-Doh. To this, I'm also gonna add a little pinch of salt and some powdered sugar. I'm gonna add the sugar bit by bit. You can kind of stop along the way to see if it's sweet enough for you. She thick. Cakes are cool. There's not 1 degree of heat radiating from them. And I have the icing in a piping bag. This makes everything nice and easy. If you don't have a piping bag, I promise you, I put it in a Ziploc baggie just as much as I do one of these. And first thing is, I'm gonna put a little dollop of the frosting on there. And then first layer of cake is going on. So I'm just gonna pipe a little border around the edge. So once you have your border, you're just gonna pipe a blob in the middle. I'm using a little offset spatula, but you could use a spoon. I'm just gonna go in and smear this all over until it's a nice even layer. Now, if you find that you have like little naked edges, all you have to do is from the inside, just coax your icing towards the edge. You're just gonna push it a little bit until you get right up against those ends. This is where you wanna be choosy. So we're gonna go for the ugly middle child. sorry, cake. Second layer is on. For the third layer, what I like to do is put it upside down because the bottom has a flat surface and I don't like this whole business of leveling your cake. As long as it tastes good, that's all that matters. And then just add the rest of the icing on top. And then with the spatula, I'm gonna first get this in a more or less even layer. And then as you start getting around, just like turn your cake stand. If you have a cake turner, good for you. Use whatever sprinkles you like. If you don't like sprinkles, why are you making birthday cake? But I want color, I want festivity, I want it to be OTT, over the top, joyous. I just want to eat this, and this right here is my perfect cake to icing ratio. When it's my birthday, this is my meal for the week. Happy birthday to everyone. Hopefully someone you love makes this cake for you.